incidents?
Well, look, I'm not happy with the two incidents. It's not, you know, it's both of them, not one or the other. He was not an angel, and she was not an angel. You know, you look at some tapes from back, but still, I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody could be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either. But I'm going to always be with our great people.
Bro, American fascism has evolved to a degree where they are unironically looking at a white lady and a white man and treating them like a black teenager. I never... This is a really interesting interview. But the very fact that Donald Trump is seemingly retreating from this is because they have listened to your cries. Now, of course, the main issue here is that the Trump administration has heard your protests and is frustrated by them and is worried by them. But the Democrats are not seizing on this opportunity because they're the controlled opposition party. That's the problem. Now let's take a look at this interview.
From our nation's capital, where today we sat down exclusively with President Trump at this extremely pivotal moment in his second term. The president making a number of headlines, discussing everything from the midterm elections to the economy to his administration's handling of the immigration crackdown. Telling me what he learned from Minneapolis and about where ICE officers could head next. And with the affordability crisis impacting so many Americans right now, you'll hear what he said about when to expect economic relief. I also asked him point blank about this moment with Fed Chair Jerome Powell and if his Justice Department would drop the investigation into Powell. And as the Republican Party faces growing pressure ahead of the midterms, what he said about the possibility of 2028 and the presidential ticket possibly featuring on the Republican side Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Plus, we pressed him on what those FBI agents were looking for when they raided an election office in Georgia. And his warning tonight to Iran's supreme leader after that country's deadly protest crackdown. Also, the surprising response when asked about his relationship with former President Bill Clinton. During our talk, the president pointing out ongoing construction on the White House ballroom, what he said about bulletproof windows and drone-proof ceilings being installed, and if he ever worries about his own safety, plus what he told me about his personal health. But we start with the major breaking news out of Minneapolis tonight. Tom Homan announcing he's pulling hundreds of federal officers out of Minnesota, and that's where our conversation begins. Okay, let's drill down into the news today. That big change on immigration, 700 officers leaving Minneapolis. Did that come from you?
Yes, it did. But it didn't come from me because I just wanted to do it. We are waiting for them to release prisoners, give us the murderers that they're holding, and all of the bad people, drug dealers, all of the bad people. We allowed in our country, I say 25 million people with an open border policy for 4 years under Biden and that group, the auto pen group, I call them. We allowed to come into our country people the likes of which no country would accept, and we're getting them out. Yeah. But we've gotten a lot of them out. So crime now in Minnesota, crime now in Minneapolis is down. Crime in all cities is down. And you know why it's down? It's down because of us. It's down in Chicago by 25%, despite the fact that we are always dealing with these people, and they happen to be Democrats.
Right. Speaking of
that don't know anything about crime prevention.
Mr. President, speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals. But look, I've called the people. I've called the governor. I've called the mayor, spoke to them, had great conversations with them, and then I see them ranting and raving out there, literally as though a call wasn't made. We've done a great job everywhere. The only place there's been a little inflammation has been really, it's not Minnesota, because we've done well with crime.
Los Angeles, too. There's been others. Yeah.
Well, I saved Los Angeles. The top law enforcement officer, right at the beginning of my time when they were having riots, before me and it carried into me. If I didn't go in there with the National Guard, with troops, you wouldn't have the Olympics, which I got. I got the Olympics. You wouldn't have the Olympics in Los Angeles. And he said, without the president sending in the troops, we would have lost Los Angeles. Yeah. And you know what? I saved Los Angeles. And we will do it again if we have to. And by the way, we're going to have a very safe Olympics.
Insane.
And we're going to have a very safe World Cup.
Speaking of Minneapolis, after the shooting of Renee Good, you said ICE made some mistakes. What were the mistakes?
Well, look, I'm not happy with the two incidents. It's not, it's both of them, not one or the other. He was not an angel, and she was not an angel. You look at some tapes from back, but still, I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody could be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either. But I'm going to always be with our great people.
Bro, American fascism has evolved to a degree where they are unironically looking at a white lady and a white man and treating them like a black teenager. I never thought we would get to this point, okay? Let's keep it $150 here, guys. The "he was no angel" is like a famous application, a postmortem application for police shootings involving black teenagers. Michael Brown was no angel, right? That's where it was most famously used. And now, even if you're a white guy opposing the administration, you are also getting hit with the no angel territory. It's incredible.
Law enforcement, ICE, police, we have to back them. If we don't back them, we don't have a country. If we don't back them, you're going to end up, look, Washington, D.C. was a very unsafe place to be. You couldn't walk to the White House. You couldn't walk to a restaurant. Restaurants were closing. I inherited not only a mess with the country, I inherited a horrible, very dangerous capital. Do you know Washington, D.C. is now an extremely safe place? You see what happened. You're here a lot.
When you mentioned Renee Good,
let me ask you, Tom.
Yeah.
You're here a lot.
Yeah.
Would you have walked down the street a year and a half ago with your family? No. But today you can, and nothing's going
Come on, man. Just say yes, bro. Come on. What are we talking about here?
to happen.
You mentioned Renee Good and not out and Alex.
Don't skip that, man. What do you mean? No, Washington, D.C. wasn't walkable until you put the National Guard down? That's crazy.
Paredes not being angels. Do you think any of that justified what happened to them, though?
No, I don't. It should have not happened. It was a very sad, to me, it was a very sad incident, two incidents. And, they mentioned the one now, they don't mention the other. Well, I think they were both sad. And who feels worse about it than anybody? The people of ICE. They're strong,
The people of
tough
ICE.
people. And they have to be tough because we're dealing with hardened criminals.
Right.
We're dealing with people, jails have been emptied into our country from all over the world, from Venezuela, where we had great success, you will admit, but from Venezuela, from the Congo in Africa, from all over the world, the jail population was emptied into our country. If we don't have strong people...
Why conduct an interview if you're not going to actually push back? What are we doing here? Stop him and say, what do you mean, Mr. President? Do you have any evidence for it, Mr. President? Where's the evidence that jails are releasing their criminals into the nation's boundaries, Mr. President? Like, what, man? This isn't CBS. I thought NBC was supposed to be less compliant.
You're not getting them out.
Yeah.
And we're getting them out. Remember this, again, I say it again and again. We have record low crime in the United States. Nobody's been able to say that for 125 years.
So I want to be clear, because it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job, we don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is
Who has to ask and who has to say please?
The mayor or the governor. I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with well, let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
Are these cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. You know, I didn't campaign on that.
Yeah.
I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C.
Every criminal removal that has taken place has happened within the prison system. ICE does not go out, conduct investigations into crimes, and process like criminal warrants or anything like that. At most, they will try to go to local jails and get people who are charged, not convicted, charged with a crime. But as far as like actual convicted criminals, yeah, they get them from the prison because that's where convicted criminals are, in prison.
If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you have a criminal, because it's over and over again, 2% create 90% of the crime. We took out 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people out of Washington, D.C., and we now have a safe city.
You, as I mentioned, you've had success on immigration. Illegal border crossings are at historic lows, right?
You know, it's so nice that you said that.
But if you look at the...
Tom, what you just said.
It's true.
No, but it's so nice. I hope you air it. It's so nice what you said, because that's called good reporting. That's called fair reporting. Now give me the second part.
Now let me give you the second part of the question. But if you look at the polls, most Americans say they don't like how you've handled immigration, right? Especially what's happened in Minneapolis. How do you change their minds?
Well, I don't believe the polls, for one thing, because how can you not handle... I saw a poll in the border where I'm at 55%, okay?
The polls show that Americans aren't against the deportations. It's the handling of immigration.
You know, polls, it depends on the way you ask the question. I saw a poll in the border, I'm at 55%. Well, how can I only be at 55% when everybody agrees that the border is totally, beautifully closed and nobody's coming in unless they come in legally, et cetera. It couldn't be better. I should be at 100%. I don't believe the polls. And some polls...
I should be at 100%. I should be at a 100% approval rating on the border. He wants to be a dictator so bad, dude. Not to get like real libbed up here, but there's honestly no other way to interpret this. This truly puts into this truly puts into proper framing his like genuine admiration for Vladimir Putin. I've often wondered what it's like why authoritarian leaders do like silly things to make themselves appear a certain way, as though they are beloved by large majorities of the population, if not the damn near entirety of the population. And I'm seeing it. It's just like so petty. It's so stupid. You are not tapped into the conservative mind virus like you used to be.
I mean, I could show you polls where I'm polling at 69% popularity, and some polls where I have one at...
We'll ask the White House to share that with us. Yeah.
71%. And then I have polls where I'm at 44% and 42%. The polls are almost dishonest, almost as dishonest as some of the reporters themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm getting very good polls. I'm getting very good polls on crime prevention, on law and order, and on the border. I have to. And I'm starting to get great polls on the economy, which I think is...
The polls on the economy they're not great.
They should be great.
They should be. So why aren't they, if you believe that?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, I've got...
Americans tell us, we hear this. I mean, we're going to get into the economy later, but I mean, they tell us they don't feel it.
Just so you understand. Yeah. I have $18 trillion being invested into the country. Biden had less than $1 trillion for 4 years, and the whole country was going to credit. Do you know
when does America feel it?
Do you know that if they won that election, and we won in a landslide, do you know if they won that election, this country was, I think it was finished. I actually think it was finished. You would have had people, instead of 18 coming in, 18 trillion, you would have had $10 trillion leaving. I think our country, I think we would have been Venezuela on steroids.
I have a question about immigration still looking forward now. Your goal during the election was to deport everyone who came here illegally under President Biden. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally or just people who have come in illegally who have also committed additional crimes?
We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. We have 11,888 murderers that Biden and his group led into our country. We've captured a lot of them. We've brought some of them back.
This is so funny. Like, every part of the immigration conversation that happens on the mainstream, on both sides, is just built around the lie Donald Trump is claiming. Okay? Once again, this is an abject lie. Okay? It's just made up. The idea that, like, ICE is actually tackling crimes of this sort is a lie. The idea that, like, Biden didn't actually criminally prosecute, Biden's DOJ didn't criminally prosecute murderers if they're undocumented immigrants is, like, such a laughable lie that I don't even know how to describe it. Like, if you truly believe that, you have the brain of a baby. Actually, even a baby would be like, goo goo gaga, I saw Paw Patrol. I'm pretty sure if you're a criminal, like, you're going to jail, right? Doesn't really matter. And despite the fact that this is this lie requires you to not have object permanence, this lie requires you to have the brain of a child. Many Americans seemingly have that brain. And I think it's a massive problem with mainstream media that they don't, like, address Trump's ridiculous statements here. Okay? There's no world where, like, mainstream media goes, wait a minute, Mr. President, you're saying that, like, Joe Biden released criminals into the wild when these criminals happen to be of immigrant background? Like, just simply asking for evidence, is that too much? Can we just ask for evidence?
A lot of them we don't want to bring back because we don't trust the country that they're not sent back again. Yeah. Despite how strong the borders are, they'll figure a way to try and get in, and we don't want to, and we'll incarcerate them. But 11,888 murders. Yeah. We are after those people. We're after the drug dealers. Right. We are after, by the way, a big problem. They allowed to come into our country. Yeah, right. Might as well say, yeah, base, brother. What is this? Is this Asmongold interviewing the president? Like, what's happening here? Yeah, based. People from their mental institutions, people from insane. Your company is tanking, bro. Please get back to the office and stop this vacation. Who are you talking to? What is this a reference to? I don't even understand. Are you talking about Donald Trump? Oh, you work at Amazon. Yeah, that's true. Amazon is tanking. My vacation. What vacation? That's so funny. I'm literally currently I'm working. This is what I would be doing at home, and I'm doing it here instead. That are mentally ill and very dangerous. We're getting them out. Joe Rogan was one of your biggest endorsers in 2024. He said oh my God, even this is stupid, but whatever. This will get clicks though. Understands that Trump's the president's sort of plan to. For the record, chatter, people are telling you to take your meds on YouTube. Hey dog, hey big dog, where'd you get that sick shirt? Clayton Swisher gifted it to me. Are you guys hiring at your work? No. People here who are here illegally, but he also understands why critics compare ICE officers to the Gestapo asking people for their papers. What's your response to him? Well, look, first of all, he's a great guy. We had a tremendous success before the election. I think it was his biggest interview ever, and over 300 million people. It was very good. She didn't want to do it. You know, she decided not to do it because she's not capable. But I spoke to him 3 days ago. We had a great conversation. And all I'm doing, I have to keep. Did he mention this to you? Did you guys talk about this, the ICE enforcement? Yeah. Just had a good conversation. I think he's a great guy, and I think he likes me too. Yeah. And, you know, liking me isn't important. What happens is that I think we do a phenomenal job, but I don't think we're good at public relations.
What does that mean? You've said that a couple times now. What do you mean by that?
We don't sell the great job that we're doing. Look, we have the safest
Is that
country.
your staff, or those your staffers?
Excuse me, people from your persuasion, somewhat left, to a job on numbers. It just came out that in 125 years, we have the safest country. The best crime numbers since the year 1900.
That's a stat. Yeah, we know
that
it's
was
true.
Way before my father was born.
Right.
Think of that. And yet, then you talk about crime, or you talk about this, or you talk about that, and the poll numbers aren't that good. People, we don't do a good public relations job. That's why I'm doing the interview with you today.
We appreciate
I'm trying to help my people. You know, PR, public relations.
I will say Donald Trump has diminished. I do legitimately believe that his brain processing power has gotten worse. Like, this is a reduced Trump. His interviewing skills are worse in general. He rambles even more than he used to, and he used to ramble quite a bit. There is definitely a Brandonization taking place here.
Speaking of your people, you're never afraid to shake up your team. You've said that you're okay with shaking up your team. Do you still believe in Kristi Noem to deliver on your vision of immigration?
Look, she was in charge of the border. The border's closed. I mean, everybody gives me A+ on the border. The border was a disaster. People were pouring into our country.
But what about the enforcement?
They don't even try and come up now. You know the beautiful thing? The caravans. I think I came up with that name. Thousands of people, 25, 30,000 people in a group. You know who sent them? Their countries. They sent the people that they didn't want. Not only criminals, people that didn't want to work hard, etc. They know who it is. They sent them into our country. We have nobody coming in anymore. We have very good. You just asked me, Kristi, we have the best crime numbers that we've had in 125 years. I think she's doing a very good job. Again, public relations. She's not getting credit for the job that she does.
Let's move to the economy now.
And excuse me, what is sad, though, and it is, we had the two primary incidents in Minnesota. So,
and you shook up leadership there. You brought Tom Homan in.
Yeah, I did. And Tom is great. Tom is a superstar. But you do thousands of arrests. You arrest thousands. You arrest thousands of the worst people. You arrest the drug dealers. I mean, we had drug kingpins. We had murderers. Thousands. No incident. We bring them back to their country. Two people. It's bad. I hate it. I hate even talking about it. Two people out of tens of thousands, okay? And you get bad publicity. Nobody talks about all of the murderers that were taken out of our country. They don't talk about...
but it was two Americans.
They don't talk about we have the smallest drug...
Brother, you guys put a new rule in the rule book that allows you to literally deport someone for being suspected of committing a crime, any crime, with the Laken Riley Act. Because Laken Riley was murdered by an undocumented migrant who was arrested, jailed, and then deported. What do you mean? Just two people in the process of deporting people? Come on, give me a break. Let me kill a couple people. Come on, guys. What's your expectation? I kill 0 Americans? No, I got to kill a couple. And now it's bad PR.
As an example, we've been very tough on the waters, and soon, you know, pretty much overall. But if you look at the waters where we knock out boats, each boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. We're doing a job like nobody's ever seen before. I just got to...
Please follow up on that. The administration is currently being sued by the families of the victim. I mean, it'll most likely go nowhere because it's the American government that assassinated them, unfortunately. But he's just, everything is made up. What, dude? What the hell? Every aspect of this interview, everything that he says is just made up. I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to react to it. I don't know what to say, really, because he is just a serial liar. Like, every boat that we blow up leads to 25,000 saved lives. How? your very own department, your very own drug enforcement agency says that Venezuela is not a narco trafficking hub. The boats that you blew up have the boats that you blew up don't have the gas tanks to make their way all the way up to the American coastline. These are small fishermen boats, small go-fast boats that are going between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. And you blew them up. You have victims, family members of the victims that are suing the government right now. Do you have any evidence whatsoever that these are boats that are actually trafficking drugs into the United States of America? And if you have evidence, why have you not revealed it? And if this, and someone needs to explain how those boats make their way to the United States of America. And this is before we even talk about international law. There's a proper process here. Is murdering random boaters the appropriate measure to take? Or doesn't the Coast Guard have apprehension techniques beyond lobbing hellfire missiles at random boats, or drone striking random boats from afar? If these are drug traffickers, isn't it more beneficial to actually overtake these boats and apprehend the drug traffickers inside of these boats after conducting a proper investigation? All of these are normal questions that a normal adult should be able to ask the president. I think one of the funniest aspects of this conversation, or the speculation around whether or not he has dementia, is that if he does actually have Alzheimer's or dementia, which I think is likely, for those of you who don't know how Alzheimer's works, I have a lot of people in my family that had Alzheimer's. Okay. There is a very funny outcome here. The funniest possible outcome for Alzheimer's, which is a devastating illness. Okay. One where your brain stops producing new information or producing new memories. And you're locked into one specific period in time. It would be kind of funny if Donald Trump got locked into the Jeffrey Epstein time period in his brain and his capacity started deteriorating. So he just kept talking about how Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton are his best friends over and over again. That would be hilarious. Okay. Imagine the administration around Donald Trump, all of his staffers consistently trying to get him to shut up, but he just keeps saying, Jeffrey, you're my best friend. Where's Jeffrey? Where are you, Jeffrey? Jeffy boy, you love them young just like I do. Remember, a best friend is such a mysterious thing. You're childlike wonder, Jeffrey. I love you just like I love Bilbo Clinton. And you want to know what will happen? I'm locking it right now. This is another one of these crazy predictions that I jokingly make, and then it ends up becoming reality. And it has happened before. Ronald Reagan in his second term was already demented, right? The funniest thing that would happen, or the saddest thing that would happen in the aftermath of this very tragic comedy would be that the American people would still not do anything about it. Okay? Donald Trump comes out and is consistently talking about how he loves sucking Bill Clinton's dick and how he loves Jeffrey Epstein because that's the last time his brain was capable of producing new memories. And then the American people still don't say anything. Yeah. A pal is a wonderful thing and every day is a beautiful mystery. Yeah. A fitting end for the U.S. empire? Yes. I am going to stream snipe you on Saturday, says Chinese Richie Torres. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be outside. So how will you do that? Don't be weird. Also, thank you for the 200 gifted. Shout out to Spittin' Litton for the 200 gifted.
A phone with President Xi, and he is amazed at how well the United States is doing. Because he said he's never seen anything like it.
You brought the conversation, Mr. President, so let me ask you, what did you talk about with the leader of China?
About a lot of topics. We talked
What's
about
the most important topic? Is it chips? Is it the wars in Ukraine? What is going on?
I would say the economy, the relationship that we have with China. I'm going to be going there in April. Then he's coming here toward the end of the year.
Coming to the White House?
He's coming to the White House, toward the end of the year. We have a very good relationship. And
it's so funny. After I pulled that chatter up, hella YouTube chatters are saying L Twitch chatter. This is not how it is on YouTube. They're talking about how YouTube chatters are not like that.
Numerous times. And I don't think they want to see a shutdown either.
Mr. President, are you going to sue Trevor Noah? Last night in a post, you alluded that something could be coming.
Yeah, well, he said that I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Jeffrey's Island. My bestie Jeffrey. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I didn't. I mean, he's a lightweight, this guy. He's a terrible. I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. I watched part of it. It's not watchable. Numerous times.
You spoke it into existence. It's going to happen.
It's important that I have a good relationship, and for him that he has a good relationship with me. We have to have a good. These are the two most powerful countries in the world, and we have a very good relationship.
You talk about tariffs?
We spoke for an hour.
Does he ask you about the tariffs? Is he saying this is hurting us?
Well, they're paying a lot of tariffs, as you know. China's paying a lot of tariffs. In the past, they didn't. I'm the one that put tariffs on China.
How does it feel having now different siloed audience reactions to your broadcast with the multi-streaming setup? I don't really like it because I do think it actually eats away at my viewership on Twitch. Because like if YouTube was like, you know, hitting 30K every day, then I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't even mind like a little bit of a hit on the viewership on the Twitch side. But now it's very clear that it actually chopped the viewership. It did. If I stream just on YouTube, there's a likelihood that I get 40K on YouTube. If I stream just on Twitch, I get 40K on Twitch. If I chop it into two, if I chop the audience into two, I get 30K here and 16K on YouTube. I did think that I thought that it would be like two totally separate audiences. I'm sure there's some people on YouTube that are watching that otherwise wouldn't. But it's clear to me that it actually takes away from my audience here. And because of the top-heavy nature, of Twitch streaming in general, when you have 30K, then you have less of a likelihood of bringing in new viewers than if you do 40K. Like the way it works is like if you're at the top of the directory, you get even more new viewers to funnel in. Having overall more viewership doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. That's still more total viewers. You're dork. You're objectively wrong. No. I'll be honest with you. The reason why I'm still doing it on YouTube right now is because it's actually really beneficial for the YouTube page in general. Also, speaking of YouTube, look at this video that got absolutely shadow banned. Whole 19,000 views, dude. That's crazy. But all the other videos and their viewer counts have gone up. Also, YouTube watchers, like the stream, please. You must like the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. I got to keep reminding myself. Don't forget to subscribe. YouTube has brutal copyright restrictions. You stream a lot of videos that would get instantly nuked on YouTube. No, I haven't had major issues with that. So you're wrong on that front. I thought I would have a lot more. I thought I would have a lot more issues with YouTube streaming in general on the copyright side, but no, it's been pretty good. Knock on